Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome to the Grimdark Diaries.
We're your geek gal pals obsessed with true crime and all things dark and disturbing.
Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome back. My stomach is wilding right now with noise. So if you can hear that on the microphone, I'm sorry.
Welcome to the episode, everybody, and also to Nikki's stomach.
It's like I can hear it, and I have my noise canceling headphones on, which makes me think that it's coming through the microphone.
No, I don't hear
So if you
anything.
can hear it, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with it. I just ate a bunch of popcorn.
Our listeners might be
for
able to hear
supper.
it, though. We know how well the noise gate for Discord is.
That is true. Yeah, so you won't be able to hear it. Well, if you hear what sounds like ghosts in the background, it's my stomach for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Nikki's just craving cheese. All the
No,
food.
I haven't eaten cheese in a really long time.
Really?
Actually, you know what? That's a lie. Well, okay, this is what's up. So I have been, that I gave up meat like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's been about a year. And the one thing I didn't give up was cheese because I love cheese.
Of course.
But then the last couple months, I've not been eating cheese.
Wow.
I'm on a really weird environmental kick with stuff. And I saw some videos of I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to be that person. But anyway, personal decision. I just haven't been eating cheese, which is fine. But then I had my first Thunderbirds game last Saturday, which is the lacrosse team that I dance for. And we haven't been able to have games in months because of COVID restrictions. So we had our first game back, home game, and I have to wear a very small revealing uniform. It's like a 2-piece. And then I've been eating so healthy. And then the night before, my husband orders food and he was like, "Do you want a poutine?" And I was like, I always want poutine. So then he gets me a poutine, which is literally the worst decision ever because gravy is just meat juice and I don't eat meat anymore. And then it's filled with cheese.
Oh no.
So I ate that and then I was not feeling well the next day.
That's not good. They probably have.
No,
I'm sure they have like vegan poutine somewhere.
Oh, they do. You make I actually prefer mushroom gravy. I think it has a good taste. But he just ordered it from like a crappy pizza place because he was getting pizza.
Right. Okay.
They're in Sackville.
Fair.
You certainly cannot get plant-based anything.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I have hope for Sackville's future because it seems to be kind of up and coming here, but
Is it?
it is. We're getting some nice stuff here.
Okay, interesting. I have not heard.
Yeah. Have you seen the house prices? Because that will surely drive up the business.
True. Well, house prices everywhere are like that right now.
Yeah, it's wild. I just looked at a house listing today that was here, and in 2018, the people bought it for $255,000, and then they just sold it for, I think, $546,000.
Holy shit. That doubled in price.
Yeah.
Yikes. Wow.
And it's like the same size as my house, but it's a little bungalow.
Wow.
It's not even like ours is 3 floors.
Are you telling me that house prices are getting worse?
Yes, they are.
I want to buy a house. I'm working very hard now. And of course, you know my struggles with my cat and vet bills and now my car. I have to do a whole bunch of crap to my car before the MVI is due at the end of next month. And I just have been trying to save up money for a down payment. Just keep throwing money out the window again. But I want to buy a house at some point, and I want to do it before the prices are more than I can afford. If houses are going to go like semi-detached as $1 million, I don't know what I'll do.
Well, it's freaking wild. Oh, if you want a detached, man, you need $1 million around here now.
No. There's no way I'd ever be able to afford an attached. I was looking at mobile homes because I feel like at this point, that's all I'm going to be able to afford.
But that's all you need, too.
For
if
me,
it's just you and your cat.
True. I have my own qualms with mobile homes because of all the exposed underneath stuff that I know nothing about and all the pipes freezing issues that you could have. And there's a lot of horror stories I've heard over the years about mobile homes and whatnot. And sometimes even the parks that you're in, because you don't own the land, right? You only own the home. So
yeah,
there could be issues with like any of the owners of the parks and neighbors and all that other stuff. So I just have my own qualms with them. I'm not opposed to getting one, but I'd have to go to the right one. So I have like a really good realtor who would take me to the right area, of course. She always said
there's a mobile home park literally on the other side of my property. I can see
true.
it from my
Yes,
back
you
deck.
can. I think that's one of the better ones too. Yeah.
It is. I made sure when we viewed the house, I looked at the property and I was like, there's a mobile home and the mobile park land shares a landline with my backyard.
Right.
So that's the first thing I asked my realtor before we even viewed it. And I was like, is that a nice park? And he was like, it's literally one of the nicest parks there is. And I was like, okay.
Which means I probably won't be able to afford anything in it.
The houses are going, or the little mobile homes are going for very expensive there. They sold a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just getting
We could be neighbors. You could jump my fence.
I just want a hobby farm, okay?
That's going to be far out of
I
your
know.
price range. I'm going to be real with you.
Literally, that's
unless you're going to move to the middle of nowhere.
I know. Well, that's the other option, is moving far, far outside of the city. But that's probably not going to be my first home. That'll be like my second or third
retirement home.
Yeah, maybe. I just want to have chickens and goats.
Good luck. Chickens are smelly and they're expensive because they eat a lot.
Yeah, they give you eggs though, and then they're good.
They do.
Good for chicken, obviously.
You're gonna eat your chickens?
If you want to eat chicken, yeah.
You're gonna eat your own chickens. You're gonna slaughter and eat your own chickens.
People do it all the time.
But are you going to slaughter and eat your own chickens?
Maybe we'll see.
I don't think so.
I haven't thought that far ahead, Nikki. This is a pipe dream that I feel like is never going to happen.
I got a cool thing this week.
Oh?
Do you not want to know?
I didn't know you were going to pause.
I paused for reaction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, what is the cool thing? Please tell me.
I got a 3D printer.
Oh, cool. Okay. What are you going to make with it?
Well, so far we made a Bulbasaur planter.
Oh my
God. Which is a Pokemon.
I knew that.
Yeah, I posted on my Instagram story. Well, first,
okay, I didn't see that.
It only came with one thing of the plastic filament to 3D print things.
Right.
So it comes with a little USB that has test prints on it, so you can make sure that everything, because you have to put it together yourself. So my husband put it together.
Right.
So to make sure that everything is lined up correctly and everything's printing right. So the very first thing we printed was this little tiny puppy. It's very cute. And then I immediately demanded a Pokemon planter. So he found me files for a Bulbasaur and we printed that, and it's very cute. And then he printed a little mini Mandalorian for when we play Star Wars D&D.
Ooh, nice.
So he has a little mini Mando. Mm-hmm. And then he printed, this is how wild 3D printers are, so we bought this machine and then he found files to print things to improve your machine.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. I've heard about that
so
before.
He printed like attachments for it and different
Mm-hmm.
things that hold up wires to make it more efficient and all this stuff. So now we can just print new parts for our 3D printer. It's mind blowing. But we ran out of the filament and the stuff we ordered hasn't arrived yet, so we can't really print anything else.
Yeah, hopefully you don't experience any kind of delays with shipping on that.
Yeah, I mean, we ordered it from Amazon, so who knows?
True.
It says 2 days. We pay for the 2 days prime shipping, but in Canada, it's more like 5 to 8 days.
We do not. There's no such thing as 2 day shipping anymore. 2 day.
No, you're lucky if you get it within a week.
Exactly. It's really annoying, honestly.
Yeah. But that's my exciting news. I have a 3D printer. Now I can print some cosplay things, which will be cool.
Oh, that'll be cool. I'm sure you'll be very super creative with that.
Yeah.
Lasso.
Lasso?
I don't know why I went to the lasso first.
One thing that I wouldn't print because it would be stiff and not do its one job.
I don't know why I went to that. It's the first thing that came to my mind for some reason. Yeah, that's cool. I'm very excited to see what you guys print with that.
Yeah, they're very cool. I didn't really know anything about them, but now I know lots about them. Well, not really, but
more than you did.
I know that I have a Pokemon Bulbasaur planter, and that's all that matters.
When you say planter, do you just mean something that holds a plant?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Did you have another thought about what it would be?
I didn't think about it until after you said it for the third time.
Well, because you know how Bulbasaur has the plant that comes out of his back. Do you not know what Bulbasaur is?
Okay. I have
He's one of the starter Pokemon, Megan.
Faint images in my head. It's a faint image of what he looks like.
Well, It's time for another round of...
Damn it.
Who's that Pokemon?
Oh.
What does he look like, Megan?
Okay, well, this one is a little more innocent. I did not actually... Nope. Does that thing that looks like a garlic clove on his back open into a flower?
Yes,
Okay.
when he evolves.
Okay. He looks like a frog. He looks like a little froggy.
He's pretty cute.
I don't actually have anything bad to say about this one. He is pretty
good.
cute. Yeah. He does
he's
look
pretty
like
cute.
he's got a garlic clove on his back, though.
Yeah, but when he goes to his other evolution, so he becomes Venusaur and Ivysaur, then
I've never
that
heard
opens
those
up
names before, ever.
there. Anyway,
an
so
open
then
flower
the
might
little
look different.
planter, the plant goes in his back there so that it's coming out of his back.
Oh.
So I'm gonna put a little succulent back there.
Aw, that's cute. That's a good idea. My mom got me a little Totoro planter where he's like pushing a little cart.
Oh, cute.
And the little succulent goes in the cart or whatever. And
oh, adorable.
it was cute until I killed it.
You killed the succulent?
Yes, I did.
This is the easiest plant to keep alive. Next to a cactus.
I know, and I want a hobby farm, but I literally kill everything I
And you
touch,
killed the
so
succulent?
I'm worrying about- I can't keep plants alive. I sent a picture to my mom, and I was just like, why am I like this? Because my mom has the greenest thumb of anyone I know, and I just cannot keep anything alive, including succulents.
Well, maybe work on that before you
Yeah.
buy a farm.
True. I've kept my cat alive for 10 years, so that's something. I feel like
How
that's...
self-sufficient is the cat?
Well, I mean, she couldn't feed herself without me feeding her. What do you mean self-sufficient? She doesn't like pour herself a bowl of cereal when she gets up in the morning or anything.
Not that you know of.
That's where all my bowls go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how self-sufficient can cats really be anyway?
They're pretty self-sufficient. People go on vacation and they just dump food in a bowl and leave them there.
Oh, I can't do that. I'm used to do that with her, but I just can't do that anymore. And plus, she requires medication twice a day now. She's a little bit of a senior cat now.
Little bit?
Little geriatric kitty. Yeah.
Well, is it time for crime? Crime time?
Crime Time 101 with Nikki. Let's go.
Oh, I'm teaching a class?
Yeah, let's do it.
I didn't prepare my PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, well, good luck. You're very good at winging things, so.
That's how I live my life.
True.
My theme was old-timey crimey. So I went very old-timey for this one.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know I love a good Victorian era story.
Yes,
so
I do.
that's where we're going today.
All right.
Prepare your black and white vision and your dress bustles and other things from the mid-1800s.
I am literally watching Outlander again right now, and I love that show so much. And they go back to
Is that set in the 1800s?
1743 is where she
Oh,
goes
so
back
a
to.
little bit
So,
before.
yeah, but the bustles are a thing, and she's like
Yeah.
getting the corset on, and I love it. It's perfect.
Catherine Lawler was born in the year 1849 in Cullean County, Wexford, which is a rural Irish village.
Nice.
Sources said that she mostly went by Kate, so I'm going to call her Kate for the rest of this.
Okay.
Her parents were apparently poor, but respectable people. As a young kid, she was caught stealing multiple times and developed a well-known reputation for dishonesty. So everyone kind of saw her as trouble from the very beginning. In her early teens, she stole some money and she used it to sail to Liverpool. Kate spent the next few years living on purely her street smarts and what she could steal to get by.
Wow, that's resourceful.
Right? She tried to be a pickpocket, but she must have rolled low on her dex and her stealth checks because she sucked at it and she got caught and she was sent to prison for 4 years at the age of 18.
Wow, I wasn't
Yeah, not only did
expecting
she fail, she rolled a 1.
that. Tripped and fell right into jail.
Yep. When she was released from prison, Kate decided to travel to London and try her luck there, which I get. Fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do the same thing. She ended up taking a job as a charwoman. I had to Google what that was.
Okay, I was like, what is that?
The internet told me that it is someone paid to clean houses or buildings part-time. So it's not a live-in maid. That would be a different job.
Okay.
So if you just went into the house and cleaned for a couple hours every day,
Right, yeah.
that is a charwoman.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that had a name.
Apparently it does. I don't know if that's like an old-timey name or if that's like a name from the UK. I have no idea. The internet knew what it was, though, so. Kate also made a little extra income as a sex worker if she wasn't able to steal what she needed. She claimed to have married a sea captain called Webster, last name Webster, and told people she had 4 children with him, but there was literally no proof of that, and the kids, no one ever met or saw these kids. But she did start calling herself Kate Webster. In 1873, she settled at Rose Gardens in London's Hammersmith area. Her next door neighbors were Henry and Anne Porter. Remember them, they will return later in the story.
Okay.
She actually got along really great with them, which is surprising because it seems like a lot of people didn't really like Kate,
Right.
but she seemed to really get along well with them.
They didn't have anything she wanted to steal.
No. She eventually met a man with the last name Strong, who she went to live with, and she became pregnant by. She had their son on the 19th of April in 1874, and then was promptly abandoned by Mr. Strong.
Oh, shit. That sucks.
Yeah, not a good guy.
No.
Instead of having some kind of a come to Jesus moment about now having a son and getting herself on a good path, she was struggling because he left her and now she had someone else to feed. So she stuck to what she knew and she started robbing boarding houses. She would take up a room there, sell everything she could get out of the room, and then sneak out before anyone realized that everything was gone from the room.
What? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Right? It's kind of smart though.
Yeah, but bad. Bad Kate.
Yeah, not good.
No.
Over the next few years, she would be in and out of prison for short periods, usually for just petty crimes, stealing or doing scams like the one in the boarding house. In 1875, she was sent to spend 18 months in Wandsworth, which when I Googled it, it's like a town as well. It's still a prison now, but it's a men's prison. So back then it must have been men and women.
Like a co-ed prison?
I think so. Because now it's just men.
It's, I guess.
Well, they would have different blocks. Like, you know how cell blocks?
Yeah.
So there'd be like the
Gotcha.
women's block and the men's block.
I don't know why I just assumed they were all mixed together.
No, I don't think they would do
No,
that.
I don't think
Maybe
so
in the
either.
1800s. I don't know.
Who knows? We didn't live in those times.
You made that sound really suspicious, like you're a vampire. I definitely didn't live in the 1800s.
Absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know specifically that prison and how it operated in 1877.
Nope. They just, I don't know if they mingled together or not.
When Kate was released in 1877, she was free for only a short time before finding herself back inside the prison walls. In January 1879, after being released from prison again, Kate decided to move to Richmond.
What happens to her child during this time? I just feel like
she had a good friend whose name I didn't write down. I feel like it was Sarah. I feel like maybe I'll mention her later in the story and then I'll be like, oh, it's this friend.
Right.
She had a friend who liked her and she would watch her kid every time she was in prison.
What a very nice friend.
Yes, good friend for sure. After a couple of months there, she actually found legit work and she got a job as a maid to wealthy Mrs. Julia Martha Thomas. Initially, she worked really well for Mrs. Thomas, and everyone was happy with this arrangement. But Kate fell back into her old habits of spending more time in the local pubs than at work.
Oof.
Which, like, hey, I would also love to do that, so I feel you, Kate.
But when you have a child, that's not okay.
Her child was living somewhere else. She was just,
Living her own best life.
Having a couple beverages. In the beginning, the two women got on well, and Kate wrote that she felt she could be happy working for Mrs. Thomas, who was comfortably off, although kind of eccentric. She was a woman in her mid-50s. Nobody knew exactly her age, but it was mid-50s. Unfortunately, Kate's work ethic was lacking, and soon the poor quality of Kate's work and her frequent visits to the local pub began to irritate Mrs. Thomas. Kate had said this about their work arrangement, and this is a quote. I'm assuming she wrote it down. At first, I thought her a nice old lady, but I found her very trying. She used to do many things to annoy me during my work. When I had finished my work in my rooms, she used to go over it again after me and point out places where she said I did not clean, showing evidence of a nasty spirit towards me.
Was she being nasty, though, or was she just particular about the way she liked to have things?
I don't know, because
cleaned?
Honestly, I'm definitely a Mrs. Thomas because...
Right? I would be too, I feel. Like, you have your own particular... I'm one of those people where if you can't do it the way I want you to do it, I will just do it myself.
Oh, I'm like that. I'm such a clean freak. I'm like a clean... I don't know. I'm like on another level of how things need to be clean.
Yeah.
And so I feel like my definition of clean is extremely different from everyone else.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, everyone has different definitions of what they consider clean, but my husband and I have extremely different definitions of what is considered clean, and mine is a lot.
We all know what you're trying to say, Nikki. Clean
no,
freak.
I'm fully admitting that I am a clean freak.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I have a nice clean house, and
you do have a nice.
It's very
clean house.
peaceful.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy a minimalist style, so there's never any clutter, and everything is spotless, and there's no dust.
Yeah.
And I love it like that.
Yeah. No, I love every time I've ever gone to your place, there or anywhere you've lived, it's always been spotless.
After multiple reprimands, Mrs. Thomas gave Kate notice. So Kate was going to be fired, but she gave her a timeline. So she said it was going to take effect on Friday, the 28th of February. We know this because Mrs. Thomas wrote this in her diary. Which I will say, I think it's nice of Mrs. Thomas. She could have just kicked her out right there because Kate was living with her. But she gave her advance notice because she wanted her to find another job and find a place to live.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very kind of her to do that for a regular person.
Right. But unfortunately, the advance notice was definitely a mistake.
Yep.
Mrs. Thomas became increasingly frightened of Kate during this time period between when she gave the notice and when she was supposed to leave. So much so that she asked friends from her church and relatives to stay in the house with her until Kate was actually gone.
Whoa. Like frightened. What was she doing to be frightened of her?
I don't know. It didn't really say what she was doing, but everywhere just said that she was very nervous and frightened. Maybe Kate was being really aggressive because I know that Kate did not take the firing well.
Right.
She had like some choice 1800 words
okay.
for Mrs. Thomas.
Right.
They described it as like colorful language. No, they said something way fancier. They actually said a word that I had to Google. I'm like, what
really?
does this mean? Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of flowery language in this, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to Google a lot of words to be like, what does this mean?
It was written as if it was written back then.
Yeah. Friday the 28th arrived, and Kate had not managed to find a new job or any new accommodations. So she pleaded with Mrs. Thomas to be allowed to remain in her house over the weekend. Mrs. Thomas was a good person, so she agreed to this, which was a huge mistake.
Oh, no.
On the Sunday morning, the 2nd of March in 1879, Kate was allowed Sunday afternoons off work, but she had to be back in time for Mrs. Thomas to go to the evening church service. This Sunday afternoon, Kate went to visit her son, who was, as usual, here we go, in the care of her friend Sarah. So it was Sarah. It was right.
Okay. All right.
Yes. But then on her way home, Kate decided she was going to grab a quick bevy, went to the pub, had some cold brews.
Brewskis.
Yeah. Kate loved her brewskis.
Yeah.
But we all know how keeping track of time while at a pub is not easy.
Well, they do it on purpose.
I don't know if they had clocks in 1800
Oh,
pubs.
yeah, that's true.
Victorian era pubs.
Right.
As well.
Everything just would have been candlelit or something at that point. Right?
I think they had electricity then.
I don't know. when was electricity invented?
I'm pretty sure electricity was from like the early 1800s.
Oh, okay, because I'm thinking about Outlander, and of course in the 1700s it wasn't.
Yeah, that's like 100
Yeah.
years before this.
I like to think I know everything, okay, Nikki?
We've proved you're not a vampire now.
Right, exactly.
Or else you're throwing us off your scent.
Oh, yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So Kate, having some drinks, she was late. She got back later than Mrs. Thomas wanted her to, so that super inconvenienced her. I don't know why she had to get home before Mrs. Thomas went to church. I don't know if she helped her get dressed or if I have no idea. But Mrs. Thomas was pissed. So she reprimanded her again before she rushed off to church. Fellow members of the congregation noticed that Mrs. Thomas definitely seemed agitated when she was at the service, whether this was because she was almost late or just pissed at Kate, or that she suspected Kate's dishonesty and thought her home was maybe being robbed because she kind of knew that Kate had that reputation.
Right.
It's anybody's guess why, whatever the reason was. Nobody really knows. She just seemed, nobody asked her, but she seemed to be not her usual self.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Thomas left church before the end of the service and went home alone. Exactly what happens next is not for sure known because we won't see Mrs. Thomas alive again.
Oh, no.
So we can only go off of what Kate said happened and what
The
1800
evidence?
evidence tells us. Yeah. Kate described the events as follows. We had an argument which ripened into a quarrel, and in the height of my anger and rage, I threw her from the top of the stairs to the ground floor. She had a heavy fall. I felt that she was seriously injured, and I became agitated at what had happened, lost all control of myself, and to prevent her screaming or getting me into trouble, I caught her by the throat and in the struggle choked her.
Jeez. Well, she admitted killing her.
What?
She admitted killing her?
Eventually.
Okay.
So I'm just recapping what happened.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were recapping what she actually said to the police or whoever.
Eventually.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So,
she does.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy.
So this is what we think happened. Well, no, that's what she says happened. A lot of people don't believe that story. They think she actually attacked Mrs. Thomas with an axe when she got home from church.
What?
Yeah, hitting her in the skull and then pushing her down the landing of the stairs, and then also finishing her off with the axe downstairs.
Oh my God. I feel like those are very different deaths.
Yeah.
Either you die from an axe and there's like blood and chopping everywhere, or you die from like choking, asphyxiation.
Well, we're going to learn it was really hard to get evidence.
Oh, okay.
So either way, Kate clearly had some aggression issues towards Mrs. Thomas, and she got very angry about this whole being fired thing and kind of took it out on her. I feel like I'm the opposite when I'm angry. If I'm really mad, I get very quiet.
Oh,
which
you're
is
one
pretty
of
much the
those.
only time in my life that I'm silent. So
Do you like give the silent treatment to people that you're angry with?
yes.
Yeah.
And I will just be very quiet. Like when you can tell how mad I am for
Oh,
how
no.
long I am silent.
I'm really glad I have never seen that side of you, because I feel like that's a little bit more intimidating than if like somebody was yelling in your face. I don't know. I personally find that because I'm a yeller. I'm a very passionate person. So
Oh, really?
when I get upset about something, I don't yell, but I'm very passionately like talking loudly, I would say.
Oh, see, no, I'm the opposite. I get extremely quiet. I will like not say a word.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah. So now you know that if you ever
Cool.
see me being abnormally quiet for an abnormally long amount of time, it's because I'm probably filled with rage of some kind.
Oh God, I'm so scared to ask you what's wrong. Hopefully not.
Then I would do the classic, I'm fine.
Oh no. We're women. We all know what that means. We don't want to talk about it.
So in true grimdark fashion, it's about to get worse.
Oh God.
Kate
That's her
decided to dispose of the body.
Oh.
She would need to dismember her.
Okay, now it's making sense.
Yeah.
How they couldn't really tell how she died.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So
Oh, dear.
first, she cut off Mrs. Thomas's head with a razor and meat saw,
Oh my
and
gosh.
then hacked off all of her limbs.
Oh my gosh.
I'm very unsure of what a meat saw is and why one was in the house.
I don't know. Maybe back then they had to chop their own chickens.
Well, I mean, if you had chickens, you would have to chop your own
Yeah.
chickens. That's the thing. I don't know if they meant it was some kind of like carving knife for just carving up a turkey, or if it was...
I don't know. A saw I picture with the handle and like literally sawing something.
I have no idea. Either way, she had a meat saw.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, so she described it. She used a razor. Oh, this is... Plug your ears if you don't want to hear this. She used the razor. You can't. You keep your ear holes open. She used a razor to cut all of the flesh, and then she was like, this isn't working. So then she got a meat saw to hack through all of her bones.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh, frig. That's so nasty.
Yes.
I can't. Oh
Next.
my gosh. This poor woman.
Yeah, poor Mrs. Thomas. She seemed like a lovely lady.
Right? She didn't deserve this.
No. Next, Kate parboiled the limbs and torso in a copper pot on the stove.
Why is that a good idea? Like, what are you going to do with that? Don't tell me she eats it. Please don't tell me she eats it.
She does not eat it.
Okay, good. God.
Yes. We're going to learn later why she was doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing.
Which is weird. How do you know that?
I
How
have
does
no idea.
anyone know these things?
I have no idea.
There's no Google back then.
She then, before she put the torso in the pot, she took out all of her organs and intestines, and she burned them in a fire.
Gross. How do you find a pot that's big enough to fit a torso of a body?
Well, they would have big pots for boiling hot water.
Think about how big of a pot that would have to be for putting a torso of a body in it.
Maybe she's quite petite.
I mean, that's possible. That's very true.
She also could have hacked it up in a couple pieces. And once you take all the stuff out of there,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Ugh. Oh my God. Oh, I cannot. I can talk about it loosely without actually thinking about it, but as soon as I start thinking about it, I like have full body
nice
like,
image in your head?
shivers and shudders I can't control. Gross.
Even Kate later said that she was grossed out with how much blood this all involved.
No shit.
Yeah, she was too deep in though.
Yeah.
Even with how hard this was and how gross she found it, she didn't stop and she kept to her plan. She systematically burnt or boiled all of the body parts. While everything was boiling and burning, Kate decided she needed a little pick-me-up, and she left everything to simmer for an hour while she went to the local pub for some wobbly pops.
For flavor, or?
Well,
please no.
kind of.
Oh gosh.
So when she went back, she took all of the parts and she put them in wooden boxes. She wrapped them in bags and then put them in a wooden box, except for the head and one foot, because they would not fit. She also drained off the liquid from the boiled body parts. Gross. The next door neighbor, Mrs. Ives, later reported a strange smell from next door. Which we now know is the burning remains.
Right. Gross.
Kate also visited a pawnbroker shop where she sold Mrs. Thomas's gold bridge work for 6 shillings.
Yes. That seems like it might not maybe be a lot. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even know what a shilling is.
I did not look for the conversion rate of 6 shillings. This successful mission deserved a reward of a few more refreshments. So Kate went back to that pub and got drunk.
No, she didn't.
She did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, she just made 6 shillings.
Yeah, hell yeah. She got money to spend. I almost said burn.
Oh, poor taste, Megan.
Spend. She's spending her money.
While she was at the pub this time, she tried to sell some jars of best dripping.
Please not. No. Ew. What? What is?
Which was really the reduced fat of Mrs. Thomas's boiled body.
Oh my god.
But she was advertising it as meat drippings.
Like
the best
lard?
drippings you've ever had.
Oh.
Trying to sell it for more money.
My gosh. You've got
best drippings. Best drippings.
Ew. Ew. Nikki, I don't know where you find these stories.
I search and I search until I find ones that are just so unbelievable.
Google, what is the most disgusting, horrible thing that Megan is going to freak the fuck out about?
Can you imagine? I can't find if anybody bought any of these best drippings to make food, but can you imagine you make like a nice roast beef dinner and you make some Yorkshire pudding biscuits with the best drippings, and then you later find out they were from a human body?
Gross. Listen, not that far outside of the realm of possibility. Did you not hear about the girl at the beginning of this year who was selling jars of her farts online? What? And she had to stop doing it because the things that she was eating so that she could fart into these jars was actually like, I think she almost did have a heart attack. She's like in her 20s. But because of the things that she would have to eat in order to have flatulence or whatever the fuck you call
wait, okay. You're going to need to elaborate on this story because no, I didn't hear this and I have like 100 questions.
Seriously, I'm surprised you didn't hear. It's so funny because it was like right after the new year, and I remember all I saw was a post on Twitter. It was one of the creators I follow. And all it said was, well, we're starting 2022 off on the right foot. And it was just like, the headline was ridiculous. It was just like, whoever this person was, I can't remember her name. The headline said that she was put in the hospital because of a heart attack or potential heart attack or something from farting in jars and selling them online.
I still have so many questions.
I'm not sure I can answer those for you.
I don't understand many things about this. One, what was she going for? Like, was she trying to produce, this is going to be a fart talk. And if somebody's like, oh my God, Grace farts, then like, now's your time to tune out for a couple minutes. But I just need to know, this is what I don't understand. Is she trying to produce smelly farts? Is that her goal in this?
I think it was so that you could,
because how else would you know? You could just send somebody a jar of air.
A jar of air.
A jar of air. I'm getting very passionate about this.
Exactly. It's literally something that has to smell so that when you open the jar, it's like a mason jar. I guess it holds smell in. I don't know. It makes me sick thinking about it.
Who's buying this?
People online. She was making a
to do
killing.
what with it? To open it and get one breath of it?
I guess?
One inhale of somebody's stale farts?
I don't even want to know what they did with it. Didn't you tell a story at one point about somebody selling their bathwater?
Yes, the gamer girl bathwater.
Right. It is the same sort of thing.
But at least you get something for that. I'm not saying that's any better, but at least you get some liquid that if you wanted to, you could do something weird with.
I don't know. There might have been liquid in her
methane gas in a jar, maybe.
I can't. This story. I'm surprised you had not heard about this story because it was all over.
No, this should have been your bonus action.
It should have.
This is the content that people want.
I didn't even think
Megan, you
about
better
this.
come next week with this fart story fully prepared on my desk in the morning with a picture of Spider-Man.
With Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, you'll have to Google it because the story is pretty ridiculous.
Oh, immediately when we finish the recording, the first thing I'm going to Google is girl selling her farts. Was this in the U.S.? Was it Florida?
It was in the U.S. Yeah.
You of Americans, course. I don't know about you selling your farts. Wait, how much money was she making?
Anything to do anything for money. I don't know how much money she was making. I can't remember.
There you go, Megan. That's how you buy your house.
Yes, I could sell my... Nobody wants to buy farts from me.
There's clearly a market for it.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. There's some, seriously.
I want to know her system for farting in the jar and saving it. Like, what?
You have
a funnel? How do you ensure that you're... what's happening? I need to know.
I have no idea. Oh, I did not read that far into it because honestly, like even thinking about it makes me want to gag.
It's repulsive, but it's one of those things where like it's so gross that I need to know
right?
more.
Exactly, yeah.
I need to know how we've devolved so much as a race.
Well, maybe we'll do a bonus action on it someday when I have more information.
So back to our best drippings. So she's selling best drippings. I don't know if anyone bought it. It didn't say. I don't know.
Oh my god, it's so gross. It's gross. This is one of those gross episodes.
Kate then disposed of the spare foot that wouldn't fit in the box. She just threw it in somebody's manure pile.
Okay.
And then she was left with the head.
Oh my gosh.
And so she had to figure out what to do with the head.
How much time has passed at this point?
Not very long.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like people would notice when this person was missing.
I mean, she's a widowed person, so I feel like by the time church rolled around next Sunday would be worrisome. True. So this has only been like a day.
Right, okay.
She's been busy.
Okay. Oh god. Gotta get rid of that body.
Yeah. She continued to clean up the house and all the blood on the Monday and Tuesday. And then she put on one of Mrs. Thomas's silk dresses and went to visit the Porter family on the Tuesday afternoon. So that was the family that I'd mentioned earlier that she lived next to, the neighbors that actually liked her. Mm-hmm. So she'd kind of stayed friends with them. She left on good terms when she moved out of there. So she went to go visit them. With her, she had a black bag. She told the Porters that she had benefited under the will of her aunt, who had left her a house in Richmond, which she wanted to get rid of with all of its contents inside because she'd decided to return to Ireland. She asked the husband, Henry Porter, if he knew an estate agent who might be able to assist her selling everything. Kate, Henry Porter, and his son Robert all went to go see a guy that he had recommended to her. They made their way home slow and steady by having their own pub crawl of sorts and stopped at several pubs on the way. In one of these pubs, Kate excused herself and left the pub carrying the large black bag she had with her.
God. And
a short time later, she returned without the bag.
Oh.
It was also said that several times on this trip, she had asked the boys to carry the black bag for her. and they said it felt kind of heavy.
Yeah, human heads are heavier than you would expect.
Spoilers. There's a head in there.
Oh, there was no doubt in my mind that's what was in there.
Kate next got Robert Porter, the son, to help her carry a large wooden chest. When they got to Richmond Bridge, Kate told him to leave the chest with her and go ahead, and she would catch up with him in a few minutes. As he left the bridge, he heard the sound of a large splash. And then a couple minutes later, Kate appeared from out of the fog and said, "Well, that's over." The box was discovered the next morning by a coal man who had world's literal worst surprise when he opened this box, because he thought that maybe there was like treasure or something.
Like not a loot crate or anything?
Yeah, he thought that maybe somebody robbed something and then they discarded it because they were on the run or something. So he was like, ooh, like maybe I can get some money. And so he opens it and it's just filled with body parts.
Oh my gosh. Frig. I can't imagine.
He reported his discovery to Inspector Harbert at Barnes Police Station, and the police collected the box and had the body parts examined by a local doctor who declared that they were from a human female and noticed that the skin showed signs of having been boiled.
Oh.
But without the head, it was impossible to identify the body.
Oh, they didn't have fingerprints back then. I mean, they did have fingerprints.
They could take, but also if they never had your fingerprints for anything.
True. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to compare them with anything. Plus, they would have to do like manual comparisons back then.
Yeah, and if you'd never been arrested, they never would have taken your fingerprints. So
right, exactly. Yeah,
there'd be no record of it. So without the head, they literally had nothing because everything else was boiled. So it was all boiled. So like even if she had some like, you know, weird birthmark or something, she's boiled for like a day. So
I guess
it's all messed up now.
I mean, is that why she boiled them? I guess
that's part of the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another part too.
Well, I think she was just trying to see. I don't know if Kate knew what was up. I don't know if she thought maybe boiling would like get rid of it.
Maybe she thought everything would like fall. You know, if you boil chicken or turkey, the
fall
stuff
off the bone.
Just falls right off the bone. Sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah. Everyone prepare your iron stomachs for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Kate, meanwhile, started calling herself Mrs. Thomas and wearing the dead woman's clothes and jewelry.
Oh, shit. Stolen identity in the 1800s.
Right? But obviously nobody reported Mrs. Thomas missing. Right. Because Kate is the only one that knows she's missing.
Yeah.
So they just have body parts and literally nothing to identify who it is.
Oh my gosh. That would be so disturbing if you think about that. Like, just having body parts lying around and you have no idea who they are, or if it's multiple people or if it's just one person or what. Like, holy smokes.
Kate kept asking Henry Porter to help her dispose of the property, and so he introduced her to a Mr. John Church, who the article says was a publican and general dealer.
I thought you were going to say a pub owner.
Well, so I Googled what a publican was.
Oh!
And I couldn't actually find a straight answer on the internet. It came down to either him being the owner of a pub or the owner of public housing.
Oh, honestly, I thought when you finished the sentence, when you said publican, I thought you meant like a Republican. So I just assumed it was like a politician.
No, a publican. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's an 1800s thing or if that's a UK thing. I have no idea.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you live in the UK and you know the answer to that question, please let us know.
We've been getting more listens in the UK.
I noticed that.
The UK and Germany. Germany was a new one. We'd never had Germany before. So
exciting.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome into the Grimdark Diaries.
Yes. Either way, Kate persuaded Mr. Church to buy the contents of the house. Kate and Church seemed to quickly become friends. So they went out drinking at the pubs together.
Of course. Yeah. How else do you do? I mean, they're doing it in true like Irish fashion. Kate.
Yeah, she must either not get hangovers or just keep drinking so that she just never sobers up.
I feel
Can't
like
get
that's-
hungover if you never get sober.
Sure. Nice. Yeah, I feel like that's in the Irish blood, isn't it? Where they just don't get hangovers.
I don't know. At this point, the papers had published news of the body parts found in the box and asked for help identifying the woman. The papers referred to the human remains in the box as the Barnes Mystery. Robert Porter told his father about the box he had helped Kate carry, which was exactly like the one described in the papers. While this is all happening, Kate agreed a price for the furniture and some of Mrs. Thomas's clothes with John Church, and he arranged for them to be picked up. Mrs. Ives next door started to get real suspicious of what was happening, so she questioned Kate as to what was going on. And I don't think Kate had like a real answer.
No, and she would know that that was not Mrs. Thompson, but she would Thompson, right? She would see
Thomas,
sorry. And she would see that she was starting to wear her clothes and kind of get comfortable as being like the house lady of the house kind of thing. And yeah, that would definitely make me suspicious too if I was her neighbor.
Yeah. Some reports say that it was Mrs. Ives that was the one to first report this to police, or some say that it was actually Mr. Church and the Porter men.
Mm-hmm.
So the two versions are that after this conversation, Mrs. Ives was super sus and she went and reported that something's going on.
Yeah.
And then the other version is that so I'm pretty sure both of these things happened. I just don't know what happened first.
Yeah, what order?
Yeah.
Was it the chicken or
And
the
then
egg?
the guys, they found a purse and a diary belonging to Mrs. Thomas that was left in one of the dresses that he bought.
Oh.
And then there was also a letter from a Mr. Menhenick. So Henry and John Church paid him a visit, and Mr. Menhenick knew the real Mrs. Thomas. So then that discussion, along with the son bringing up the wooden box, they went to police and told them all of that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, a search was made of the home, and an axe, a razor, and some charred bones were recovered together with the missing handle from the box that they found in the river.
Ah, it's all coming together now.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But Kate was not there. On the 23rd of March, a full description of Kate Webster was circulated by the police in connection with the murder of Mrs. Thomas and the theft of her effects.
Sounds like a Nancy Drew story that you just said,
Yeah.
said the total title of the book.
It is. Who belongs to the best drippings?
Damn it, Nikki. Oh, I do not ever want to get a jar from you that just says best drippings on it.
For Christmas, I'm going to give Megan a jar that says best drippings. And I'm going to be
Please
like,
don't.
I made this
Please don't.
plant-based drippings for you, I swear.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it didn't harm any animals.
Right. True. Doesn't make it any better.
Kate had decided to flee to Ireland, taking her son with her, which conveniently was the first place the police looked for her.
Of course, because she's from there.
Yeah. And she had told people, like, oh, I'm going to move to Ireland. That's why I want to
Right.
sell all this stuff that my aunt gave me.
Right. But this, like, I don't know. Did they have Interpol back then? Did they extradite
don't
her?
know.
I wonder. I'm curious.
Well, she was arrested
oh,
on the 28th of March.
okay.
And she was kept in custody, awaiting collection by two detectives from Scotland Yard.
Okay, so you can be extradited. Got it.
Yes, because then they brought her back to England.
Nice.
And then she was taken to the Richmond police station, where she made a statement on March 30th and was formally charged with the murder.
Okay.
Her original statement accused John Church of being responsible for Mrs. Thomas's death, and he was actually arrested and charged with the murder too.
Oh, Wow.
Right?
Oh,
Can you
gosh.
imagine?
Holy.
This poor guy,
Seriously?
this publican.
Publican.
Whatever that is.
It's probably like the worst thing in the world to be or
God.
something.
Watch it be a slur or something, and I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
whoa, it's thrown it
Oh,
around. I don't think it is. I Googled it, people.
Right. Google is always correct.
I had to dig a little because I'm telling you, it wasn't like a normal thing that came up.
No, and when you say it every time, all I hear is Republicans. So.
All I think is pelican, like the bird. So that's where my mind goes.
Okay, that's much better than where mine goes.
Yeah, and for some reason when I think of pelicans, I think of cartoon pelicans.
I
like
don't
an
know.
Animated one.
I literally just thought of a stork for some reason because as soon as you said animated pelican,
No,
that's the
that's
first.
not. Those aren't the same thing.
Nope. Okay, we're getting real off track today.
So they arrested John Church, charged him with murder. Fortunately, he had a strong alibi and had also assisted the police in discovering all of this information about the crimes.
Right?
Yeah. And gave all the stuff that he had collected over that they wanted of Mrs. Thomas's. So at the committal hearing, the charges against him were dropped while Kate was remanded in custody. She was transferred to Newsgate Prison because otherwise she would have to do a long trip by a horse-drawn prison van across London each day for her trial.
Oh.
That kind of blew my mind that there's, I don't know why, but there's a horse-drawn prison van.
Well,
something
vehicles.
I never thought of.
Yeah, I guess, because, yeah. All I picture, when I think of prisoners in, like, back in those days, I just picture,
In the
like,
cage?
the big cage on the back of a wagon that a horse
maybe
pulls.
it was. I don't know. Maybe that's what a horse-drawn
Maybe.
prison van is.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Her trial opened on the 2nd of July, 1879, before Mr. Justice Denman at the Central Criminal Court, known as the Old Bailey. The prosecution was led by the Solicitor General, and Kate was defended by Mr. Warner Slay. A hatmaker named Mary Durden gave testimony for the prosecution, telling the court that on the 25th of February, Kate told her she was going to Birmingham to take control of the property, jewelry, etc. that had been left to her by a recently deceased aunt. This, the prosecution claimed, was clear evidence of premeditation because that conversation happened 6 days before the murder took place.
Yes.
One of the problems of the prosecution's case was that they actually couldn't prove that the human remains the police found were of Mrs. Thomas.
Oh, true. Yeah.
All right?
How do you prove that? Yeah.
Exactly. Which hearing that makes it sound like it was really easy to commit a crime, a murder, and get away with it then.
Although,
'Cause you just
what
get rid
about
of the head.
What about the charred bones that they found at the house and comparing them with the bones? Were there bones with those?
But how do you
parts?
prove who it is?
Well,
That just proves that some bones were burnt there.
I guess.
Yeah.
Circumstantial evidence, I guess.
So that fact was a weakness that Kate's defense really wanted to use, especially because they still hadn't found the head. So they knew that there was no way that they could positively identify the body.
Right.
The only evidence they had showed that the body parts had belonged to the same person and that they were from a woman in her 50s. So that's kind of the only evidence they have of who it was.
Right.
The defense tried to suggest that Mrs. Thomas could have died of natural causes in view of her agitated state when she left church, which is where she was last seen alive, on the Sunday afternoon. Both Henry Porter and John Church gave evidence against Kate, describing the events that they had been involved in. So her defense tried to just point the finger of suspicion back at them, that they had something to do with it. Kate's two friends, Sarah, who was the one that watches her son, and a woman named Lucy, they got on the stand and they gave evidence of her good nature. So, she can't boil a body if she's good natured, right?
But you watched her child every time she went to jail.
Yeah.
And I guess...
Yeah, Sarah, I don't know about that one.
I mean, I guess it doesn't, like, say whatever about her demeanor as a murderer or not, but I feel like that it kind of leads to that direction.
You're at least a criminal.
Right, exactly, yes.
Late on the afternoon of Tuesday the 8th of July, the jury convened to decide their verdict, returning just over an hour later to pronounce... What do you think, Megan?
I think they're going to go not guilty.
Do you?
I do. Because I don't feel like there's enough solid, like, beyond a reasonable doubt of evidence.
Yeah, I don't think they care that much in 1800.
Okay.
So they went guilty.
Did they actually? Okay.
Yeah, she's guilty.
Okay, all right, good. I'm happy with that answer. I'm glad I was wrong.
Before she was sentenced, Kate yet again made a complete denial of the charge, but cleared Church and Porter of any involvement in the crime. As was normal, she was asked if she had anything to say before she was sentenced and sent to prison and death. And she claimed she was pregnant.
What?
She was, yeah. Well, if you're pregnant, they won't sentence you to death.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
Yes.
I guess that changes it up a little bit.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
don't
at
you
least they
have
won't
to
sentence you to death for 9 months.
That? Well, I was just going to say.
It says that she was then examined by some of the women that were present in the court, and they determined she was not pregnant. Don't ask me how they are qualified or what exams they did to determine she was not pregnant, but the court seemed happy to confirm that she was lying.
Interesting. I wonder, I'm very curious how they would have tested for that other than,
I don't think there was any medical tests done.
No, I absolutely don't.
The women were there and they were like, yep, check her out.
Pushing on her abdomen or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kate was transferred the next day to Wandsworth Prison to await her execution. Kate made 2 more confessions while she was there. In the first, she implicated Mr. Strong, which was the father of her child, the one that abandoned her.
Right, yeah.
There was literally no evidence, so
what?
That was found to all be lies. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, God, that's grasping at straws, obviously.
Yeah. Kate was informed by her lawyer that no appeal was to be granted to her, despite a small amount of public outcry for her sentence to be changed. I don't know who was outcrying, but somebody wasn't happy.
Pillagers in the street. Pillagers. That's not the right word.
They're not pillaging. You mean villagers?
Sure. I'm watching
Drop
a lot
the P
of
plus a
like
V.
Viking shows lately.
Me too.
I watched I started watching Vikings again, and then I also started watching The Last Kingdom, which is...
Oh, I don't know what that is, but I'm watching season 6 of Vikings
okay,
right now,
when you're
so I'm
done
almost
that,
done with Vikings.
Yeah, you should watch The Last Kingdom next, because that is right up the same alley as Vikings. Yeah.
Did you see that a new Vikings spinoff is coming out?
No.
It's either this year or next year.
No
yeah.
way.
So it doesn't, like, they're not going to revolve around Ragnar Lothbrok because they really played that one to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I believe it's in the same world.
Oh, I'd be very interested to watch that.
Yeah.
I love all of those Viking
me
shows.
too.
Oh, they're so good. Pillaging.
So, oh God, Megan, no, we're not pillaging.
No,
here
I
at
don't.
Grimdark. We
no,
do not pillage.
Absolutely, I don't recommend that at all. Just kidding.
On the eve of her hanging, Kate made another confession to the lawyer in the presence of the Catholic priest attending her, Father McEnray, which seemed to be somewhat near the truth. She stated that she was resigned to her fate and that she would almost rather be executed than return to a life of misery and deception.
But her son.
That confession that she gave there is the one that I talked about earlier,
okay,
where she pushed her down the stairs.
Yes, okay. Mm-hmm.
Next is a not so fun fact. Before, public hangings were a highly attended public spectacle where prisoners would be given a short drop, causing them to just hang in agony while they slowly died.
Oh.
And they would get thousands of people showing up to just watch them slowly die.
Oh.
But William Marwood decided to make great improvements in the process and had introduced the long drop method. This was designed to break the person's neck.
Yep.
So then this would cause instant unconsciousness instead of a slow, painful death in front of people.
Wow. I mean, is it better? I guess.
You got to take a bite of 2 rotten cakes. Which cake is
right, yes.
more rotten?
Exactly. Which one has the worm in it?
Yeah.
Ugh, gross.
Yes, that's our not so fun fact. It's a fun fact, but it's not
at
very
all.
fun.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Also, why
I thought that was interesting, though.
I don't know why. I don't know. I just feel like, because today is so different, and I just can't imagine going to watch a hanging or like an execution of any kind like that.
If you drive by a car accident, do you try and look?
No, not for the people. I never look for people because I don't know.
But do you still look?
I look at the damage of the car. I used to be an auto
But
claims
you know
adjuster.
that there's a chance you would see the people.
Yeah, but I don't look in the car or around the car. I look at the car.
You're still looking at the accident,
No,
though.
I don't know. I absolutely don't try to look for people. I don't. I'm not intrigued to see if I could find a person because that just, I don't even know.
You're still
how
checking
that would
out the
affect me.
accident, though. That's still gruesome.
That's just human nature. Human curiosity.
Right? So that's the same thing. It was human nature. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. It's different. I feel like that's different.
People go to executions now to watch people get the electric
I know
chair.
they do. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know if I would be able to do that myself.
I feel like it would depend on the context for me.
If I stumble upon an accident, that's different than actually making a choice to go to watch an execution.
We'll see if it was like if somebody murdered my husband, I would like to then watch him be executed, and I would silently stare at him.
Okay, I guess that's fair. I never really thought of it that way.
I say that now, but I probably wouldn't be able to.
It's hard to
I would
say
wanna
unless
look
you're
at
in the
them.
position to know, I guess. You just don't know how you would do it, how you would
Right.
react, yeah.
The execution was set for the morning of Tuesday, the 29th of July at Wandsworth Prison. Kate was to be only the second person and the sole woman to be hanged there.
Wow.
A few minutes before 9 a.m., they went to get Kate from her cell. She would have typically been offered a stiff tot of brandy before the execution commenced.
Really?
Apparently. Yeah, they give you a little shot of brandy.
Kind of like your last meal, but your last drink.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you a little wobbly, so I guess makes it a little easier.
I guess, yeah.
The governor entered her cell and told her that it was time, and she was led out between the 2 male wards, accompanied by Father McHenry, across the prison yard to their execution shed, which was nicknamed the Cold Meat Shed.
What?
Whoever named that is vicious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So at
Yikes.
least it wasn't a place where it wasn't a public place where people could gather and watch.
Right.
It was a shed where they would just
Okay.
hang people. The Cold Meat Shed.
Okay, all right. That's a thing, I guess.
Right? So they built the gallows in there in a separate building. So it
Yeah.
was separate from the prison because they wanted to spare the other prisoners from the sound of the trap door falling.
Oh, that could
And
make
then
people
also-
go crazy.
Yeah. And then it also made it easier for the staff to deal with the removal of the body
I guess, yeah.
when it was in its own little shed.
Right. Yikes.
As Kate entered the shed, she would have been able to see the large white painted gallows with rope dangling in front of her, with the noose laying on the trapdoor. I read, for some reason, this article had like a lot of fun facts about hangings. I don't know why.
Fun fact.
And then it was like, if Kate had been executed, this many years in the future, they wouldn't have left the noose on the trapdoor. It would be wrapped up and hanging waiting for her. I'm like,
my
who wrote this?
God, seriously.
Yeah.
Why do you have so many facts about hanging?
Yeah, there's a lot of facts about hangings in there.
Seriously. Wow.
They stopped her on the chalk mark on the double trapdoors and placed a leather body belt around her waist, to which they secured her wrists while they strapped her ankles with a leather strap. She was supported on the trapdoor by the 2 warders standing on planks that are set across it. This had apparently been the normal practice because they did it in case the prisoners fainted or struggled at the last moment.
Mm-hmm.
They placed the white hood over her head and adjusted the noose around her neck, leaving the free rope running down her back. Her last words were, "Lord, have mercy upon me." Right after that, they pulled the lever to open the trapdoor, and Kate fell down about 8 feet into the brick-lined pit below.
Whew.
Kate's body was left to hang for the usual hour before being taken down and prepared for burial.
An
Burial.
hour?
Yeah, just to make sure you're dead.
Okay.
I don't know.
Excessive.
I mean, I'm kind of an expert on 1800s Victorian era hangings now, but
with all those
not
fun
that
facts,
much of an expert.
I mean, how could you not be?
Later in the day, her body was buried in an unmarked grave in one of the exercise yards at the prison. I read that at first the prison gave each person their own grave, but after the 90th execution, they ran out of room, and so the authorities started to reuse the male prisoners' graves.
What do you mean reuse?
Like they would
pile them on top of each
dig
other?
up somebody's grave and put somebody else in there with them.
So then what would they do with the other body?
It's still in there.
Oh,
They have a roommate now.
okay. Oh no.
This prison yard must be very haunted.
Oh, I'm sure it is. This is in England, you said?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The murder actually had considerable social impact on Victorian Britain. It caused an immediate sensation when people heard the details, and the press was all over it, posting every single detail they could find. Freeman's Journal and Daily Commercial Advertiser of Dublin noted that what it called one of the most sensational and awful chapters in the annals of human wickedness had resulted in the press teeming with descriptions and details of the ghastly horrors of that crime. So people were just posting literally every detail they could find. Posting in media.
Not social media. Like
And no.
Timey-wimey Facebook.
Old-timey crimey.
Right.
Posting all the details everywhere on notices, in papers.
Mm-hmm.
The case was so big that Madame Tussaud created a wax effigy of Kate and put it on display for those who wanted to see the Richmond murderess.
What?
Yeah, it remained on display well into the 20th century alongside other notorious killers such as our favorite body snatchers, Burke and Eyre.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know that they had like a weird museum of murderers and that.
Well, I think it's just part of
criminals.
Madame Tussaud's wax museum.
Oh, okay.
They apparently have a murderer section.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, I don't know if they still do.
That would be interesting to find out.
Yeah. The murder was also commemorated by street ballads, which were musical narratives set to the tune of popular songs. So they would just write lyrics to already popular song tunes.
Okay.
So, after all of this, the big question is, where is Mrs. Thomas's head?
I don't know. I feel like
There was a lot of context clues throughout the story of where Kate would put a head.
Do you know?
I do know. We're going to go over where it is.
Okay, all right. Let's hear it.
Yes. So in 1952, the naturalist David Attenborough
Oh, no way.
and his wife Jane bought a house located between the area where Mrs. Thomas's home was and the hole-in-the-wall local pub.
Did they know?
No. Which would be the pub that Kate would go to.
He could narrate
that
the
was
shit
near
out of this story.
The house.
That's
pub
wild.
closed in 2007, but was bought by Attenborough in 2009 to be redeveloped. On October 22nd, 2010.
Whoa.
Right? Workmen carrying out excavation work at the rear of the old pub uncovered a dark circular object, which turned out to be a woman's skull.
No way.
Yes.
What? In 2010?
In 2010.
Holy, that was one hell of a hiding spot.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Kate stuck with what she knew. She buried it at the pub.
I feel like if anyone knew her at all, that's where they should have been checking.
Right? So it had been
Wow.
buried underneath foundations that had been in place for at least 40 years on the site of the pub's stables. It was immediately speculated that the skull was the missing head of Julia Martha Thomas, and the coroner asked Richmond police to carry out an investigation into the identity and circumstances of death of the skull's owner.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Wow.
Carbon dating carried out at the University of Edinburgh,
Nice.
my favorite,
Nice.
found that it was dated between 1650 and 1880, but it had been deposited on top of a layer of Victorian tiles.
Mm-hmm.
The skull had fracture marks consistent with Kate's account of throwing Mrs. Thomas down the stairs. It was found to have low collagen levels consistent with it being boiled. And so in July 2011, the coroner concluded that the skull was indeed that of Mrs. Thomas.
No way. How would they know? What do you mean low collagen? Like, I feel like nothing would be left but the bones at this point.
Yeah, but the bones had low collagen levels in them.
What is collagen? What do you mean? In bones? I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess I don't know what collagen is.
Oh, really? I'll give you want to know a fun fact? Everyone is very into collagen right now. Like collagen drinks is a very big thing.
I've heard of collagen lips, and that's literally my extent of knowledge about
Oh, like a
collagen.
little face mask for your lips?
Yeah, where you get perky lips or whatever. Obviously, I'm not too into beauty, so
No. You
have no
could
idea.
collagen is good for your skin, but a lot of people right now are very into drinking collagen because it's another way to get collagen in your body because it keeps your skin nice and young looking.
Oh.
And often the collagen is hydrolyzed bovine, which is ground up cow bones.
Oh.
So people pay a lot of money to be drinking ground up cow bones.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're going to drink collagen, I highly recommend ensuring it is plant-based collagen because you can get it from plants and not ground up animal bones.
Wow, this has been fun fact
So
with
that was
Nikki.
Yeah. It's because, and I only know that specifically because I went to a naturopath however many years ago now, 5 years, because I had some issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then she prescribed me to drink collagen drinks. So I would buy them because I had leaky gut syndrome.
Right.
And collagen is supposed to help that. So then I was doing that and I did that for like a year. And then I was like, I don't want to be drinking ground up cow bones anymore. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a hard
Yep.
one to mentally get through.
Yeah. And now, especially since I don't eat meat, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, I didn't know that collagen was something that was like in your bones, I assume. It would have had
Yeah.
to have been in your bones. So
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. And they could tell by the low levels that it was boiled.
Yeah.
That is just
well, that's how
wild
you can get it
to
out of
me.
there. Right?
Yeah, that's wild.
Science is amazing.
Fuck yeah. Fuck love science.
And DNA testing wasn't possible because she had died childless and they couldn't find any relatives that they could trace to her.
Right.
And then there's actually no record of where the rest of her body was buried.
Oh shit. That was with the
Yeah.
police. Wasn't it?
Yeah, but they didn't keep a record of it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I mean, they buried it somewhere, but they didn't write it down.
Oh no.
The coroner recorded a verdict of unlawful killing, superseding the open verdict recorded in 1879. The cause of Thomas's death was given as asphyxiation and head injury.
Wow.
The police called the outcome a good example of how good old-fashioned detective work, historical records, and technological advances came together to solve the Barnes mystery.
Yeah, I feel like we're like cheering on a superhero team right here.
Right?
Yeah.
Science is
team.
great.
Yeah.
We learned so much today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we learned hanging advances and where to get your best drippings. And that Megan's going to start selling her farts in jars.
Gross. Yeah, reach out if you would like a jar of farts.
Oh my God, do not reach out to the Grimdark page. Oh, I was going to say, I forgot about this. And I really hope that these people are still listening to this episode and they haven't left. And they were like, God, I only listened to the first few minutes, but they ramble so much. Okay, I have a thing to say before we wrap up. Okay, do you remember how when we were doing our anniversary episode, man, I should do this at the first. It's okay. Please, person, please be listening.
Put it in the front.
No.
Okay.
It's more desperate like this.
Okay.
And that's just how I live my life.
Okay.
So remember when we were doing our anniversary episode and then I made you say what you're thankful for. And then my thing was that I listen to a lot of podcasts and I feel like I know the podcast hosts, even though they're complete strangers, but like I just listen to them every week and I feel like they're my best friends, even though I don't know them. And then I was like, oh God, please. Because I was thankful for that, but I just speculated that somebody else feels like that about us.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and then I was desperate for someone to tell me that they do feel like that. And then shout out to this person whose name is Christina. I won't say your last name because she commented on our anniversary post on Instagram and she said, I do feel like I know you guys, so you're not alone.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you,
Yeah.
Christina.
And she also likes Pokemon, so I like her a lot.
Nice. Okay, so she laughs at me when I don't understand.
Yeah, she said she likes my inside Poke jokes because she gets them.
Okay. There you
Yeah,
have
so
somebody
shout out
who
to her.
gets you.
There is another shout out, and I'm going to be real with you. I don't remember it.
Uh-oh.
So I'm sorry
Oh no.
to the person that doesn't know that they were going to get a shout out.
Was it a
Somebody else
story
said
that
something
they
really nice.
tagged us in? Or comment?
Yeah, I thought it was a comment, but I'm scrolling our Instagram right now and I don't see anything. So then if I find it, I'll share it.
Okay.
Oh, no, I did find it. No, I didn't. Sorry. If you also said something nice to us on our social media, thank you. This one's for you.
Oh, Nikki. That's perfect.
Yep. That's how we do our shout outs on Grimdark.
Sure is.
Get your dice.
I'm like, where
You don't even have it, do you?
Okay. I got a new desk. Well, it's a work desk. It's a sit-stand desk. And I just put it together on Friday. And all weekend I was with my mom and my sister. And I didn't have time to do anything with my desk.
Place a dice on your desk?
I literally put nothing on my... The only thing that's on my desk, other than my monitors, keyboard, and mouse, is my cat treats for my cat. And that's it.
Okay, so clearly Megan's priorities are wrong. Cat treats over a D20.
I forgot. Hold on one sec. Okay, I have my die. Are we ready? I'm gonna roll.
Maybe this new desk will bring you new rolling luck.
Ooh, that would be good. I should actually also switch them out every now and again. Can't even see. 16.
See?
Hey,
That's a good roll.
That is a good roll. Fraud, but make it interesting.
Oh, I love fraud.
I love that. That's a great category, Nikki.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little bland, so you got to find a good fraud.
Yeah, exactly. But make it interesting. I freaking love it. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. And you know the drill. If you would like to follow us and continue on with the journey with us while we're not recording or with when you are not listening to our stories, you can find us on social media. Just search for the Grimdark Diaries and you will find us Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are not on TikTok or any of those other social media platforms. We have enough as it is, okay, with this one. If you want to send us an email, send us your fun stories and let us know how you enjoyed your jar of fart smells that you bought from someone.
No, don't email us that. That's the one thing you are not allowed to email us.
Please at Nikki when you do email us about that. And you can reach us in our email at thegrimdarkdiaries@gmail.com. And podcast platforms, whatever you have, just go ahead and give us a 5-star rating if you'd like. So, Spotify has ratings now, so you can go on there and you can rate us. I found out that you have to actually listen to the episode, or you have to listen to the podcast first before you can give a 5-star rating. So listen to us and then give us a 5-star rating. That'd be great. We would love that. And then give us a comment and rating or review wherever you guys can do that on your podcast platform. We would really appreciate that. And if you would like a promo on our show, please reach out to us on our email. We'd love to chat with you about that, and maybe we can do a little switcheroo with promos. We'd love to chat about that further. And yeah, so join us next week to see what I come up with for fraud, but make it interesting. And remember, a friend in the dark beats alone in the light.